Okay, so this will be our lecture for detailed estimates. So it's just an introduction to all of those na gagawin natin for calculations dun sa mga estimates natin. Okay, so we have detailed quantity survey. So yung pinaka-common na ine-estimate natin is yung concrete. So that's work package. So when we say it's a work package, so say for example, yung nasa picture natin, this one is an example of a work package from its excavation nung ground, tapos arrangement ng mga bakal, tapos yung pagporma dun sa desired na dimensions or size nung ating konkreto dun sa loob, yung bubuhusan, and then yung pagbuhos mismo. So installation and removal of forms, installation of the reinforcement rebars and wire mesh, and then placement and finishing of the concrete. Okay. Paano ba mag-next slide? Yan. So, in terms of concrete, so kapag nag-construction na tayo, we have yung tinatawag natin na site mix concrete. So this is just for a small scale na construction. We have site mix concrete, hinahalo lang using yung shovel, tapos yan, yung mga batches by bags lang. And also, we can also have yung yung mga mixer natin, mga one bagger mixer and so on. So, yung mga maliliit lang. So, that's up to 2-story. Tapos kapag kasi from third floor pataas na, medyo mahirap siyang gawin kasi wala naman tayong pag-aakyatan nung mixer natin, mahirap mag-akyat nung mga materyales natin like sand, cement, and gravel, and also yung paghahaluan natin dun sa site mismo. So, it's not actually possible din na dun tayo sa second floor mag-mix kasi nga madi-disturb yung ating concrete structure, lalong-lalo na kung hindi pa niya na-meet yung desired na kung ilang days siya. No? So, for high-rise building from third floor pataas na, we have to use yung ready-mix concrete. So, this is prepared yung mga batches natin sa mga batching plants. Tapos, this is transmitted using our transit mixer. Yung malalaking truck natin that has yung mixer dun sa likod. And, ayan, pwede na pa rin namang mano-mano siya na iakyat yung pagbuhos, pero meron tayong tinatawag na um, concrete pump, no? Para maibuhos dun sa bubuhusan natin. Pero pwede pa rin naman yung sa 2-story, we can actually use yung ready-mix concrete no? So if we prefer, lalong-lalo na if malaki yung batch natin na kailangan or malaki yung volume natin na kailangan for that particular um, floor area or volume of concrete na ipo-pour. So, in the estimate of our concrete, we have to refer kung ano yung class that is actually defined dun sa general structural notes natin dun sa set of plans natin. So is it class AA, class A, B, or C? Or instead of kung ano yung class na naka-define doon, meron tayong sinusunod doon sa general notes and specifications natin kung ano yung strength na kailangan dun sa konkreto natin. So, class AA is 3.5K to 4,000 PSI. So, class A is 2.5K to 3K PSI. And then, so on. So, yung mga mixture natin na yan, it is in the proportion of, ayan, for AA, 1 is to 1.5 is to 3. So, that means, ayan, gagamit tayo ng multiplier natin for kung ilang bag ng cement yung gagamitin natin, tapos yung sand and then gravel. So, ang pinaka-common na ginagamit is yung A. Lalong-lalo na for low-rise lang din na structure or mga two-story. Kasi yan, 2.5K to 3.5K PSI. So, ayan, we all know that our concrete is made up of our aggregate, cement, sand, and water. So, this proportioning na to is actually based on a box. Yung ganito. Yan yung pinang-proportion nila dun sa mga mixture ng sand and gravel. Tapos kung, ayan, is isang bag ng cement. For 50 kilogram cement, ito yung sizes niya. Pero, ang ginagamit natin actually is yung box for 40 kilogram cement, 0.30 by 0.30 by 0.30. It's actually a cube. Tapos, pinaka-common yung 40 kasi yan yung kaya na um, bitbitin or ano na to, buhatin ng mga workers kasi yung 50 kilogram actually medyo mabigat na yan lalong-lalo na kapag semento siya. So mahihirapan yung pagbuhat. So ayan, 40 kilogram per bag yung pinaka-common na ginagamit natin. So, ito yung magiging multiplier natin for class AA, 12, tapos A is 9, B is 7.5, tapos C is 6. So, ayan. Dun sa pagbubuhos naman natin, we have to take note kapag nagbubuhos na tayo that we should get one concrete sample for every 10 cubic meters of concrete during the pouring of concrete. So, with a 12-inch concrete cylinder na na 4 for the testing of strength as required for occupancy permit. So, ayan. So, kailangan natin kumuha ng sample every 10 cubic meters of concrete during the pouring para ma-check natin later on kung ano yung quality na nailagay natin na konkreto so that we could actually trace ano yung magiging problems or kung nasunod naman yung mga standards natin dun sa specifications natin So wala namang magiging problema. So so for this one, this is yung class A, 1 part ng cement. So that is based dun sa box natin. 2 parts ng sand and then 4 parts ng gravel natin. And then we should take into consideration yung kung ilan lang yung ano natin din, yung water para tama lang yung slump. So sa mga natapos na sa materials construction um, na consmat natin, construction materials natin. So alam ninyo kung paano kumuha ng mga slump, no? So yung tamang tubig lang for the cement natin or concrete mixture natin. So we have here somehow to estimate kung ano yung mga magiging capacity ng mga wheeled carrier natin. So yeah, say for example, we are in a big business of construction and we have this wheeled carriers. So we can actually use this values in here for a 6-wheeler truck. Pwede na yung maglagay ng 100 to 200 bags. So meron tayong mga limit para hindi ma-overload and also para safe din yung mga bags of cement piled in that particular wheeled carrier. For a 10-wheeler or a dump truck, we can actually accommodate 500 bags. So, ayan. And then for gravel and sand, so for a 6-wheeler truck, that is 2 to 4 cubic meter. So, kung alam naman natin yung value na to, 2 to 4 cubic meter, we can actually estimate kung halimbawa na napuno siya kalahati. Kalahati siya dun sa sa level nung wheeled carrier natin. So parang ganyan. So that's actually 2 cubic meter, no? And then if punong-puno siya, that will actually be a 4 cubic meter na gravel or sand. And then for a 10-wheeler or dump truck, we can have 12 to 14 cubic meter na capacity. So makikita na lang natin kung ano yung proportion dun sa pinaglagyan natin or dun sa container niya. So 1 bag of cement is actually 1 cubic foot. So ayan, dun sa mga lalong-lalo na dun sa mga second taker and also dun sa mga first taker naman, I think alam na natin to kasi yun yung pinakaunang activity na pinagawa ko sa inyo dun sa laboratory. So concrete structure elements, we have your footing, the slab, so SOG or slab on grade or yung suspended slab natin, and then stairs, column, and then beam. Yung beam natin from grade beam, second floor beam, roof beam, and so on. And if there are any other measurements or concrete structure elements na kailangan nating i-calculate, like say for example, mga parapet, wall, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga roofing natin to achieve a particular design, mga ramp, ano pa ba? So, kailangan natin i-include dun sa concrete estimates natin. So note to include all portions below the natural grade line, mga footing, column, walls, and so on. Ang kulang pala natin dito is yung wall footing din. Yan. So, basic lang naman, di ba? Yung pag-calculate natin for concrete structures natin. So, volume computations muna tayo bago natin siya i-appropriate dun sa proportions na either 1:2:4 na mga cement, sand, and gravel. So, very basic formula for volume of footing, length times width times its depth. So, that is for footing. So, isolated footing yung example natin dito. And if that's a combined footing, it's just the total length. Say, ito yung columns natin na dalawa. And so on. So, very basic yung total volume of concrete calculations natin. That is volume of footing times the number of footing. That is based from our foundation plan na. No? Kung nasaan yung mga footing natin, we should count kung say for example, F1 ito, F1 ito, F1 ito, this is F2, F2, F2. So kung ano yung nakuha nating volume, wait, volume for, wala pala. Volume for F1, so times 3 siya. So that is the number of footing. So volume of footing 1, so total, times the number of footing 1. So yung value nito, so just the volume times, so say 3, 1, 2, 3. So para may consider natin lahat ng F1 that is red dun sa ating foundation plan. No? And then, for concrete wall footing naman natin, so basically that is for a hollow block section or any wall na kailangan nating lagyan ng footing underneath. So that's just this section in here. That's D times W, depth times the width of the footing, times yung length natin. So remember yung length natin. So say for example, meron tayong mga columns dito. Tapos say for example, lalagyan natin ng wall footing ito kasi meron siyang wall, no? Tapos grade beam na tong mga nandito. So grade beam ito. Grade beam. So we do not actually need to put wall footing dun sa mga grade beams natin kasi pwedeng yung grade, dun na tayo mismo sa grade beam magsimula dun sa wall natin. Dun na natin ipapatong yung concrete hollow blocks natin, tapos dun na din tayo maglalagay ng mga abang. So ang magiging length lang natin, so titignan natin, i-inspect natin dun sa foundation plan pa rin natin, nasaan ba yung mga wall na kailangan may wall footing. So, like say for example, this one, so eto yung lalagyan natin ng wall footing. So, yung length na yan, i-measure natin itong length na to plus this length. And if there are other lengths na kailangan natin lagyan ng wall footing, so i-add lang natin dun sa L natin. So, say L1, L2, L3. So, that will be the total length, L1 plus L2 plus L3. No? So, yun yung total volume of concrete natin. So, total length times W times D. to get the volume of our footing. So wala tayong number of wall footing dito. It is per linear meter. Yung calculations natin dito. So then we have our rectangular column. So rectangular column, it's just the section of our column times the height included dun sa calculations natin. Yan. So say for example, for this one. So if you're conservative enough naman, you can actually have yung full height. Pero kung gusto mong ibawas na yung depth ng beam dun sa taas, so okay lang din. So it's your decision to make kung ano yung mga nandun sa estimates mo. Anyway, it's just an estimate. So kung baga, bahala ka kung saan mo ibabalance out yung mga kailangang ano, maging saktuhan and so on. No? And then, that's the length times the width times the height of our footing. So, saan natin makukuha or makikita yung height ng column natin? So, say for example, for a particular structure, so meron tayong, say, this is actually labeled as C1, F1, this is also C1, F1. Pero ang configuration niya in the elevation, yan, inclined to yan, parang ganyan. So parehas silang C1, pero titignan natin kung ano yung height nito and then this height. So that means we have two calculations in here. So C1 multiplied by H1 times. And then we have H2. C1 pa rin siya pero i-multiply natin sa H2. So magkaiba yung calculation niyan. So you have to identify kung nasaan yung mga or ano yung mga height dun sa building. Kasi kapag say for example, H1 yung ginamit mo lang, so kukulangin ka na dun sa estimate mo. Pero kapag H2 naman, okay lang, pero may mga sobra. Which is okay lang din naman kung susobra. Huwag lang sobrang sobra, no? So, ayan, take note of the heights dun sa structure natin mismo that is found in your elevations. Then, circular column, same. Height consideration natin kanina, if that is H1 and H2. Tas yung kanyang ano lang, area of the circle times the height. So that's just the same dun sa rectangular column natin. Then, concrete beams. So, dun sa concrete beams naman natin, makikita natin yan dun sa mga framing natin. You just have to look into kung ano yung, say, B, 2-1. So, ano yung mga width and depth of this one times yung mga magiging length niya. So, meron din sa mga framing plan natin actually. So, say this is B21, B21 din siya, pero magkaiba yung length. So, you have to take note of that one kasi kailangan i-consider natin pa rin yung length niya. So, pero kung along this part na B21 lahat sila, B21. So, consider mo yung length nito times 1, 2, 3. Say, B21 din to. 4. Yan. So, that's just times 4, no, for that particular length. Then, we have your slab. Dun sa slab naman natin, titignan ninyo dun sa, so kapag SOG siya, slab on grade. So, meron kasing mga sections ng slab on grade na pag ganito siya. Yan. So, kinakapalan dito sa part na to. So, you'll have to consider some of the parts dito sa ilalim. Pero for simplicity, ito yung calculation ng slab natin. So, bahala na lang kayo kung paano ninyo itatakal ito. So, you can actually have your section. So, i-calculate mo kung ano yung section nitong part na to, which is this one, times 2L times 2W, no? To get the volume of that particular part ng SOG natin. Wala namang problema sa na to, sa suspended slab natin kasi tanggalin na natin ito. Ganito na lang siya. So that's length times width times the thickness, and that will now be the volume of our concrete slab dun sa suspended slab. So madali lang naman ang slab. Ang mahirap lang sa slab will be yung mga rebars natin later on. Then we have our stairs. So, titingnan din natin kung paano yung design ng stair natin. So, if that's just an ordinary na design ng stair, yung pinaka-typical, eto yung ganitong itsura. Yung pinaka-typical na section ng stair natin. So, we have this triangular part, and then meron tayong yung parang dito, parang base niya dito, dun sa mga steps natin. So, so height of riser, thread run. So that's just the area of this one, yung part na to, times the width. That's the width of our stair. So nakukuha na natin yung volume ng per step natin times the number of steps. Kaya nakikita din natin dun sa natin, dun sa mga plans natin. So, di ba meron siyang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. May mga numberings na yung mga steps natin kasi hindi na natin kailangan bilangin isa-isa. So, we'll just have to consider kung ano yung pinakalas na number, and that will be the number of steps for that particular stair. So, times n. That's the dun sa mga steps natin. And then dun naman sa part na to, so you can actually measure yung length nito. So, bahala ka na how to approximate that one. And then pwede mo nang isalpak dyan. Multiply mo lang sa thickness ng stringer, tapos i-multiply natin dun sa width pa rin to get the volume dun sa ilalim niya, no? So that will be the calculation for concrete stairs. So meron din mga stairs parang yun lang yan, parang ganyan lang siya. Tapos meron siyang parang biga dun sa gitna. So magkaiba siya kaysa dito. So you have to identify din muna kung ano yung design ng stair dun sa set of plans that is actually given. So in the calculations of our estimates for concrete, we have to allow yung wastage calculation natin. So we'll have an allowance for wastage, which is actually for formed concrete, we assume 5% na wastage. And then that is applicable for columns and piers, concrete beams and girders, reinforced concrete slab and walls, and other concrete members poured inside a form. So, what are the considerations? Bakit natin nilagyan ng 5% na wastage? So, pwedeng yung form natin pang ilang gamit na, may mga butas-butas, no? So, pwedeng lumusot doon yung konkreto natin. Ano pa ba? So, while pouring, di naman natin maiiwasan na dun sa labas siya ma-pour. So, that's just for accident. And we have allowed naman yung allowance natin na 5%. So, it's actually calculated dun sa estimate natin. And then, same lang din naman siya sa poured without forms. So, we have to assume also 5% wastage. Concrete slab on field or on the ground, footings for columns and piers, and so on. So this one is to allow yung imperfection din nung um, pagbubuhusan natin. So say for example, for a footing, hindi naman kasi natin mape-perfect yung hukay natin to come up with the exact section nito. So, pwedeng nag-cave in dyan. So, kakain yun ng volume ng concrete. So, mapupunta siya dun. Tapos yung mga uneven na part doon sa natin, if it's not actually properly handled na maganda yung subgrade natin. So, dun mapupunta yung mga 5% na wastage natin. Then, ayan. So, that's just the first step. Concrete volume. Tapos, second step natin, yan, add allowance for wastage. Tapos, ascertain the concrete mixture based on the specification plan. So, titingnan natin if it's class AA, class A, B, or C. So, what mixture yung gagamitin natin for the proportioning. And then, multiply volumes by factors indicated to get the estimated quantity of cement, fine aggregates, and your coarse aggregates. So, let's try to have an example. Ang na-compute natin na volume ng concrete is say 5 cubic meter. So add allowance for wastage. So 5 times 1.05. So 5 times 1.05 is just equal to 5.25. So 0.25 yung madadagdag. Pwedeng yun yung allowance natin for wastage. Pwedeng matapon. And then ascertain the concrete mixture based on the specification. Say for example, class A yung gagamitin natin. 2.5 to 3,000 PSI. So multiply ngayon yung volumes ng factor. So that is now so for cement, that is 5.25 times, so that is cubic meter, times na natin dun sa 12 kilogram per bag natin. So, that's just 5.25 times 12. So that will be 63 bags. And then we have cement, sand. So that's just 5.25 times 0.5. That is 2.625 cubic meter. And then our gravel is 5.25 times 1. That is just 5.25 cubic meter. So, ayan. Meron naman na tayong allowance dito. Pero yung iba, pwede din naman dito na tayo mag 5% kapag na calculate na natin yung cement, sand, and gravel. Yan. Then we have our concrete formworks. So for formworks, kapag meron tayong mga wheeled carrier pa rin, so 1 truckload of coco lumber for an ELF, yung mga ELF na wheeled carrier natin is 1,800 to 2,500 board feet ng lumber. So remember that yung mga lumber natin is actually sold in per board foot. So pero minsan may mga naman kapag lalo na kapag per piece yung binibili natin, it's actually price naman ayan, per piece na siya. It's not per board foot pero nagbabase pa rin sila kung ano yung board footage nung isang piece ng wood, multiply nila dun sa how na to, kung magkano per board foot yung yung presyohan dun sa lumber and hardware dun sa store, no? For a 10-wheeler na truck, so magkakasya yung 4,000 to 5,000 board foot. So ayan, this one is you can actually now estimate also kung ano yung capacity ng mga wheeled carriers natin, kung ilan yung board footage na kakasya dun sa gagamitin natin. So also, a consideration is to estimate for the concrete form oil. That is if gagamit tayo ng yung ordinary lang na surface ng na to, ng formworks natin, yung mga plywood, mga ganun. Pero ayun, since phenolic board naman na yung uso, or meron din tayo yung mga parang plastic composite na na forms natin. So hindi na kailangan ng mga form oil dun sa mga ganun. Kasi nagre-release naman na siya agad if nagbabaklas na tayo ng mga formworks. Then for steel forms, ayan, titignan natin what are the rental per piece. Or ayan, kailangan nating estimate din ito if we are actually, we have actually yung mga steel forms natin, kung ilan yung kasya dun sa stock natin, no? Kung ilan yung gamit natin na pwedeng isalpak dun sa project na yun. So as per plan. So etong nandito sa table natin for coco lumber na coco lumber, yung kahoy natin, for vertical, lateral ties, and braces. Ito yung kapag yung form natin, halimbawa sa column, yan. Ang column kasi is, kailangan nating, ay wait lang, mali yan. Yan, dito na lang. Kailangan natin siyang, say, ito yung plywood natin. Kailangan natin lagyan ng formworks dito. And then, etong pangatlong to, depende kung gaano kalaki yung column natin. Tapos, ito, meron din ano dito. Yan. Yan. Yan dun sa kabila. Yan. So, eto yung mga vertical. So, kapag nakatayo, ganyan siya. Yan. So, wala. Ano ba yun? Yan. So, for vertical, lateral ties and braces, ito yung gagamitin. 2 inches, naka-inches ito, by 3 inches or 2 by 4. So, saktong-sakto lang yung kanyang longer side to support yung formworks natin. Yung formwork kasi natin, this will actually tend to, pwedeng mapaklas yan kasi medyo mabigat din yung konkreto na ibibuhos dito. So, kailangan, ganyan siya, yung longer side, yung yung stiffness ng ating material. So, it's either 2 by 3 or 2 by 4. And then for beam support naman, so medyo mas critical yung horizontal structural member natin. So, ito yung form natin, yung plywood natin. Tapos, ganyan siya. Ito yung form lumber natin. Kapag titignan natin yung cross-section niyan, ganito siya. Ito yung plywood. Tapos, nandyan yung 2 by 6. Ito yung 6 na length. So, kailangan, yung stiffness nito, ganito siya, no? Isusupport niya yung bigat nung ibubuhos dyan sa biga. So, syempre, meron din tayong formworks dito. So, kapag merong slab, hanggang dito lang siya, yung formworks natin. So, titignan natin yung thickness nung slab natin. So, hanggang dito lang siya sa part na to. So, iba naman yan. Pero pwede na tong either 2 by 3 or 2 by 4 na lang yung ilalagay dito sa gilid. Ito lang talaga yung very critical, yung nasa ilalim. That is why it's 2 by 6. And hindi na din minsan lumber yung gagamitin dun sa support ng beam natin. Kasi mabigat talaga yan. If you try to look into yung ginagawa sa may part ng nakatabi ng GMB, yung sa may parang lumber and hardware doon, makakakita kayo ng mga steel forms doon na yung mga to, hindi na yan kahoy. Kasi it's actually a big construction na. No? So eto, yung mga dinidiscuss natin dito are just for a small scale lang. No? And kapag small scale lang din, minsan ng gamit lang, minsan, no? Tapos, kasama siya dun sa pag-estimate nung kung ano yung mga gagamitin na materyales, no? Kasi nga, um, hindi naman natin gagamitin ng for multiple use. Pero kung balak mo talaga to have your own construction company, you invest on good form works na you can actually use them in multiple times in multiple projects, no? So ayan, that is for your form lumber. So formworks, plywood. So column, perimeter. So so yung kailangan natin na calculation kapag column is ganito siya. So eto S1, S2, S3, S4. So ayan, yung consideration natin times the height of your column to get the area of yung kailangan natin na plywood. So, say for example, so yung length ng S1 natin, S1 times H, so that's an area. Tapos, S2 times yung H natin, and so on. Makukuha mo yung total area nito. Tapos, kukunin mo siya dun sa plywood na 4 feet by 8 feet. So, kung paganyan siya, and then, ayan, makukuha mo ngayon yung number of plywood na kailangan. So, for beams, ganito naman siya. So, tatlong sides lang, S1, S2, S3. Tapos yung magiging length ng beam natin. Tapos, ipro-proportion mo na ulit dun sa plywood size natin, 4 feet by 8 feet. And then the slab naman, it's just the total area. So one side lang, sa ilalim lang yung kailangan nating lagyan. So that's just length times width. And then we can now actually, yan, ito naman pabaliktad. 4 feet by 8 feet. So sa full slab na bubuhusan natin, so say for example, dito magkakasya yung 4 by 8 feet. So bibilangin mo kung ilang piraso, tapos ilan yung mga puputulin. So eto mga to putol. Etong mga to buo. So that is your formworks na plywood. So plywood use kapag 3/8 to 1/2 yung thickness natin. It's not actually advisable kasi nga very siya. Minsanang gamit lang actually siya. Kung magagamit mo siya multiple times, so okay lang din naman, pero magsa-suffer naman yung yung itsura nung surface nung konkreto mo. So normal market or commercial lies size is 1/4 of 1/4 is too thin. So do not use 1/4. So 3/8 or 1/2 na plywood yung ginagamit for formworks. So our phenolic board is actually reusable. So ito yung black na merong mga normal na naka-print doon is yung mga crocodile, no? Mga crocodile. So we have our nails. So ang formworks kasi natin, dito na lang. Di ba nga, yung formworks natin, ito yung plywood, meron siyang mga ipapako dun sa framing natin. So, ito yung gagamitin natin One box is 20 to 25 kilogram small, and one box is 30 to 38 kilograms, yung mga large na nails natin. So, common wire nail. So, kapag CW, common wire nail siya. So, kapag 1 inch yan, that's normally 1,680 pieces. So, this is used for forms na pang plywood of 3/8 or 1/2 inch. Pero medyo ano na din, minsan maliit na siya, yung 1 inch kasi konti na lang yung papako dun sa number natin. So, it's either ito or yung DDoS na siya. Tapos yung DOS, actually kapag gumagawa, ito yung lumber natin, ito yung plywood natin, pinapako lang siya ganyan, and then yung matitira dito, ibe-bend na siya para mas kumapit yung plywood. So, ayan. Pero itong table din na to, this is for general use of the nails. Yan, pwede natin gamitin for forms, and then tongue and groove na flooring, ceiling joists, trusses, floor joists. Ito yung mga sizes na kailangan nating i-estimate. So how do we actually estimate yung mga paggamit ng nails natin? It's just titingnan natin kung paano natin, kung ilang piraso yung papasok dito sa mga per piece natin, no? Tapos bibilangin lang natin. That's direct counting ng nails na kailangan natin. This one is common wire nail. Ito yung may ulo. Ito naman nandito, finishing nail. Ito yung maliit lang yung ulo. Yung parang medyo pabilog. So that is generally used for yung mga kailangan makinis yung mga surface. Kasi kapag merong ulo dun sa ceiling natin, tatakpan mo pa yun ng masilya or yung parang pang tape para hindi siya makita, no? Then mamasilyahan ulit. So this is an example of our computational sheet. So square footing, rectangular footing, footing tie beam, length, width, yung thickness, yung count, then makukuha mo yung volume. And then, times the wastage, quantity, tapos, yan, ito yung total quantity natin. And the unit in cubic meters. So, ayan. So, let's go to masonry. So, masonry, normally, mga CHB or concrete hollow blocks. Yung pinaka-common na ginagamit natin dito sa Philippines. So, yung work package ng isang wall na yung yung civil works pa lang niya is yung CHB natin, yung block na gagamitin natin. Then, we have yung reinforcements niya. Then, we have yung mortar. Yung mortar natin is yung sinusuksok dun sa mga hollow portions nung CHB natin. Ay, baliktad. Yun pala. Dito. Yan. And then, grout, insulation, embeds, and anchor bolts. So, kung mga kailangan na lagyan ng mga ganito. Pero yung mortar, yung pinaka common na kailangan natin sa CHB wall. And that is considered in our masonry calculations. So a hollow block is a 3-core block. So depende dun sa thickness niya at ay width, itong W. So that's 100, 150, or 200. So 100 for interior walls, 100 to 150. Tapos 200 for exterior walls and also for mga plumbing walls. Bakit kailangan natin i-200 yung plumbing wall natin? So say for example, if you have your wall with this thickness, tapos kailangan mo mag-embed ng um, pipes dyan. So you can actually conceal them dyan sa wall na yan para hindi asiwa yung um, mga ano natin, mga plumbing pipes natin. So to get the to have the calculation of our how much CHB yung kailangan natin is we have to get the net CHB area. So for this example, we have our length times height. So makikita nyo yan dun sa elevations, sa architectural, dun sa plans. Tapos, ma-minus lang natin yung area ng wall, ng window, and then area ng door. So that is now the net CHB area. So kapag wala namang opening, or these are called your openings. So number of CHB needed, eto minultiply niya sa 13. So saan nanggaling yung si 13? So if we try to look per 1 square meter, yung normal height kasi ng CHB natin is nasa 0.2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, tapos 2, 4, 6, 8, so 1 meter. Tapos, ang normal length natin is 0.4. So, 0.4. So, 0.4 plus 0.4 is 0.8. Tapos, ang matitira dito is 0.2. That's basically 2.5 na CHB per layer. Yan. So, kapag binilang natin to, this is 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And that is actually 12.5 pieces ng hollow blocks. So, kaya 13 ito. So, ni-round up na lang. Yung consideration dun sa kalahati is, ano na siya, hindi na siya binasag. No? Pero pwede mo namang gamitin din yung 12.5. Kasi say for example, malaki yung CHB wall natin, ilang metro yan. Say for example, ganyan. So ang consideration dyan is, tigwa 1 square meter ito . So meron kang kalahati dito, meron kang kalahati dito, meron kang kalahati dito, meron kang kalahati. So ito, isang buo na to, yung nadagdag dun sa calculation mo. Kung ilang, ilang tigda dalawa. So, say 10 CHB yung nadagdag, no? Parang na siya, magkakaroon ka ng sobra dun sa at the end of the construction ng wall na yan. So, nasa iyo na yan yung decision if you want to use 12.5 or 13, no? Pero kung maliit lang na wall, siguro, you can use 13. So that is your hollow blocks wall. So yung cement mortar for laying of concrete hollow blocks natin, itong mga to, meron tayong class A and then class C. So This is for the sizes na 200 by 200 by 400, 250 by 200 by 400, 100 by 200 by 400. So, kapag nakuha na natin yung number of CHB, i-multiply lang natin dito sa factors na to for this size. Ito yung factor natin for the bags of cement kapag class A yung kailangan natin na mortar. So, halimbawa, dun sa calculation natin ng wall, yan, let's try to have a wall example here, 3 meter by 2 meter na wall. So that's just 3 times 3 times 2, that is 6 square meter. So dun sa 6 square meter natin, i-multiply natin ng 12.5. So yung factor na ginamit ko is 12.5. Gusto kong gamitin yung 12.5 for this project. Times 6 is 75 pieces. So, sasalpak ko doon. Say, ito yung gagamitin natin. 75 times 0.1505 times 0.1505, that is 11.2875 bags of cement. So approximately, gawin na natin 12 bags. And then cubic meter of sand. So that's just the same, pero yung factor natin is 0.0081. So that is 75 times 0.0081, that is 0.6075. So 0.7 cubic meter. Or pwedeng gawin na natin siyang 1 cubic meter of sand. Yan. So, ganun lang yung pagkuha based on the class of mortar. And then, we have yung plastering. So, dito naman, yung plastering natin, yung palitada. So, we have also class A and then class C. So, cement, lime, and sand. Cement, lime, and sand. Pero minsan, hindi na nilalagyan ng lime yung mga palitada. So, it's 1:2 or 1:3. So, 1 bag of cement is to 1 box ng sand and then lime. So, dito naman, ito yung calculations natin for a 10 mm na thickness ng, say, ito yung wall natin. Thickness ng plastering. Yan. So, ito. So, 10 mm, 12 mm, 20, 25. So, surface of concrete and then constructed in forms. Ito yung mga class A and class C natin. Plastering area times etong mga factors natin na ganito. So, yung mga yan, para makuha natin yung bags of cement, bags of lime, and then cubic meter of sand. So hindi lang magkaka-align yung mga nandyan. Yan, i-align nyo na lang. Anyway, magkaka-align naman siya per row. Yan. So, say for example, for a wall, yan, let's have yung 3 by 2 ulit. So, that's 6 cubic meter, ay 6 square meter. So, ano yung consideration natin? Yan, area lang nito. Tapos, for a 10 mm na thickness na desired natin na thickness for the plastering, ito yung factor natin. So, that's 6 times 0.082. Then 6 times 0.082 din for the line. 6 times 0.009 for the sand. That is 6 times 0.082. That is 0.492. This is 0.492. And then this is 0.9. 0.054. So, ayan. So, idadagdag na natin yan dun sa calculation, say, dun sa dito sa nakuha natin dito. Kasi sand ito, di ba? Dun sa mortar natin. Yan. Para ma-order natin ng minsanan. So, ito yung pwede nating gamitin na format for the calculations of our wall. For kung ilang CHB siya. So, wall A, and then for the mortar, and then for the plastering. So, kailangan natin ng length, height, kung ilang piraso, kung may magka-identical gross area. Na-discuss natin kanina yan. And then openings, if there are openings na ibabawas. So yung mga openings natin, this is to be subtracted. Tapos makukuha natin yung net area, number of CHB. So from the number of CHB, dun tayo magbe-base, di ba? Dun sa calculations natin. And then makukuha natin yung cement multiplier based from the specifications, kung class A or class C. And then sand multiplier natin, makukuha din natin from class A or class C. And then we'll have the quantity and then our unit. Ayun. End of slideshow. Okay, so ayan, that's one part ng detailed estimates natin. So I'll just have another recording for the next detailed estimate natin. So in here we have tackled yan, mga concrete volumes, nails, formworks, masonry. Masonry, including yung mortar and then plastering natin. So that's just roughly yung mga para sa bill of materials natin.